Ancient Greek Philosophy and its Modern Lessons. Mike Mentzer was more than just a champion bodybuilder. He was an intellectual, a thinker, and an advocate for reason, logic, and the pursuit of knowledge. Unlike many athletes who focus solely on the physical, Mentzer saw bodybuilding as an intellectual endeavor, deeply intertwined with philosophy. His love for ancient Greek thought, particularly the works of Plato and Aristotle, shaped his worldview and training methodologies.
I set about 6 years ago to gain a comprehensive understanding of philosophy, logic, and the nature of knowledge.
Mentzer's journey into philosophy was not a mere academic exercise. It was a quest for truth. He believed that the same disciplined reasoning required for logic and philosophy applied equally to bodybuilding. If an individual sought self-improvement, they needed to base their approach on true ideas rather than myths or falsehoods. Plato, the birth of philosophy and the power of ideas. Mike Mentzer saw Plato as the pioneer of philosophy, the man who first identified the role of reason in human existence.
Philosophy, by the way, means literally love of knowledge. The very concept of philosophy was first discovered by one of the greatest men in human history by the name of Plato, who lived in the age of classical Greece 23 centuries ago.
Plato's great insight was that the human mind had a specific nature, just like the human body. To function correctly, it requires a proper method of thinking, one based on reason, logic, and critical analysis.
Plato was the first man to understand that the human mind has a specific nature just like the body does, and that the human mind requires a specific method of thought to gain valid knowledge or true ideas.
This lesson is vital in today's world. Misinformation, emotional reasoning, and blind faith in unverified claims often lead people astray. Mentzer believed that just as one should train based on scientific principles rather than gym myths, one should also think based on rational philosophy rather than baseless dogmas. Aristotle, the greatest mind in history. While Plato laid the foundation, Aristotle, Plato's student, built the intellectual framework that would define Western civilization.
Plato was a teacher as well as a philosopher, and his best student was an even greater man named Aristotle. In fact, Aristotle was the greatest man who ever lived.
Mentzer viewed Aristotle's contributions as unparalleled, particularly in the realms of logic and scientific thinking.
Aristotle was literally responsible for discovering the greatest of all discoveries in human history, the laws of logic, the principles of human thought, and for those scientists, as you know, the scientific method.
The importance of logic and the scientific method cannot be overstated. In fitness, science, medicine, or even personal decision-making, a commitment to rational thought ensures better outcomes. Mentzer constantly urged people to challenge their assumptions, think critically, and apply reason in all areas of life. What ancient Greece teaches us today. The principles of Plato and Aristotle are not confined to the past. They form the bedrock of Western civilization and remain essential today.
As you may have learned in history class somewhere along the line, the thought and teachings of Aristotle and the ancient Greeks literally established our Western civilization, the context within which it was possible for science, medicine, art, morality, and justice to flourish.
The philosophical foundation is under attack today by relativism, misinformation, and the rejection of objective truth. Mentzer's message is clear. If you wish to live a rational, successful life, you must adopt the method of clear thinking laid down by the Greeks. 1. The pursuit of truth over popular opinion. Mentzer rejected mainstream bodybuilding dogma because it contradicted science and logic. He applied the Aristotelian method of identifying first principles and reasoning from them. If muscles grow due to intensity and overload, then shorter, more intense workouts must be superior. If recovery is necessary for growth, then overtraining is counterproductive. This same rational approach can be applied to life decisions, politics, economics, and ethics. 2. Logic as the key to success. People often act emotionally rather than logically. Whether in business, relationships, or fitness, the scientific method and logic are superior tools for decision-making. Aristotle's laws of logic, such as the law of non-contradiction, help us see falsehoods for what they are. The scientific method ensures that ideas are tested, refined, and improved, rather than blindly accepted. 3. The importance of self-esteem and knowledge. Mentzer believed that living without reason is living without self-esteem. If your beliefs and methods are not based on truth, you cannot have confidence in yourself.
And as a sincere bodybuilder, you should want to know, people, that the ideas guiding you constitute true ideas. If not, then you're literally lacking self-esteem. You're leaving your life to chance.
This applies to more than just bodybuilding. If your career, relationships, and beliefs are not rooted in rational principles, you are drifting without purpose. Conclusion: Mike Mentzer's call to intellectual strength. Mike Mentzer's legacy extends beyond the gym. His intellectual rigor, passion for Greek philosophy, and commitment to truth make him a figure worth studying, not just for bodybuilders, but for anyone seeking a rational, purposeful life. The teachings of Plato and Aristotle remind us that knowledge is power, and that self-improvement begins with clear thinking. Whether in training, business, or personal growth, the ancient Greeks provide us with the blueprint for success. Mike Mentzer lived by these principles. The question is, will you?